Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for watching the video. I'm Lyle and this is my garage, and we're going to do another restoration. This one's going to be a 1974 Suzuki GT750. It is the two-stroke, three-cylinder. I'm super excited to feel what that feels like. As you guys know, there's a few bikes like the Kawasaki three-cylinder, two-stroke, and I've been trying to get my hands on one of these for a while, and I finally got one a few years ago. Haven't wanted to do it just because of how crusty it is, but now's the time. Let's get into it. The bike has about 40,000 miles. It's probably going to need to be re-ringed, but it does kick over and feels like it has a lot of compression, or that could be rust in there that makes it feel tight. Anyways, front wheel's the wrong wheel. As you can tell, it's got calipers, but it's got the drum hub. There's supposed to be a double disc front wheel, so one of the first things I'm going to have to source is that. It's also got the headlight delete for some reason. I don't know why. We'll have to find the new headlight. I'm sure I could probably get one on eBay. Fingers crossed. And the side cover. That was the other main thing. So it's only got one side cover as of now. A couple of the good things, though, is that all of the chrome stuff on it seems like it'll just polish right up, which is amazing, especially for the exhaust. If anybody out there has ever tried to buy exhaust for any of these old bikes or anything, they always are so expensive. These covers are actually off just from the power wash because water came in. There was no clutch cable, and I didn't realize that hole was open. Also, some water was dripping out of this. I don't even know what this is. On these bikes, are they called a dynamo, or is this called an actual alternator? Because it looks like an alternator to me. I don't know. This weird thing here almost looks like an electronic ignition, but I know it's got points, so I don't know. I'm excited to get into this and figure out how Suzuki did their stuff. This side cover here has the GT750 badge, but it's over on workbench right now. It was just hanging by a thread, so I took that off before the power wash. We're missing the turn signals on the back. The rear wheel and everything seems pretty good. All in all, I'd say we got a lot of the major components. The three carburetors are there. What else? Oh yeah, all the louvers on the radiator are pretty good. And I'm just hoping it doesn't leak. I don't see any signs of leakage on the radiator. And this front little plastic thing here, the pretty bezel, whatever, I don't know what it's called, but that thing looks amazing. Front forks, they look really nasty, but whatever. These will all polish up really nice, so I'm pretty stoked that the 4 gears are good. I'm assuming that that's going to need to be a little hammer and dolly. Big red alert here. I don't know about you guys, but how many times do you see a wire nut and have goodness come out of that wire nut? Never, right? You guys know what I'm saying. You see a wire nut on a motorcycle and you know that there's shenanigans. It's pretty cool. The radiator fill cap looks like it's right here into the frame. That's neat. Gas tank. We don't even want to know what's inside yet, but we'll get there. This side looks beautiful. This chrome piece here on the airbox looks great. Airbox itself is obviously going to have to be dealt with. All the components are real nice over here, it looks like. Well, that's relatively speaking. Got the 3 carburetors, but they're CV carbs, and yuck. I don't like CV carbs. I like the slide ones. The CV ones, there's always holes and vacuum things and blah, blah, blah. We got a little bit of some rusty stuff here happening out of our little kettle. And we got the points thing down here when the bike fell at some point. Heh, no pun intended. Can I get this to work? Can you see this piece missing right here? I don't even know if I'm showing it. That's the tough part about using your cell phone for your entire YouTube channel, right? Anyways, this got smashed here, so I think we might have to replace this whole daggone piece. I'm hoping that the points backing plate is okay, and we just have to do condensers and points. This condenser right here definitely doesn't look like it's going to work. We got shifter pegs. One of the good things is the foot pegs, they're not wore out. So there's a chip missing there. Just forget you saw that. But, you know, they're not all biffed from falling. So, in fact, these ones don't even bend. Holy moly. There's no hinge on on the foot pegs. So that pretty much sums that up. Oh, that was a lot of minutes. I just blabbed through all that. I'm sorry about that. We'll get into the wrenching here in a sec. All I'm going to do today, though, is just try to get everything off, and we'll use the fast motion time lapse for the next few minutes, and I'll put some music on that hopefully doesn't bother you. And just an FYI to everybody, the only music that I play is this royalty-free stuff that I can't get sued over. That's on the app that I use on the phone. And then my own songs that I sneak out there, you know, to try to fulfill my own rock and roll dreams. Anyways, here's the show. Thanks for sticking around.
This dusty
here's where we're at so far. Things are going pretty good. Lots of miscellaneous hardware here and there. That's no big deal though. We'll just have to sort all that later. There was one broke bolt here up in the airbox, the top one of the two. That'll just be something we'll get to fish out of the airbox later. Not that big of a deal. Lots of hardware bolts and stuff, hardware store, like from, Ace or whatever, mom and pop shops. So I'll have to sort that out later. All the air hoses, the radiator hoses couldn't be saved. If you just squeeze them, they cracked. So I'm hoping that I can find some repops that have this kind of canvas cording, whatever stuff, twine wrapped on it. Because that definitely is like an old school look. Speaking of this one down here, check out how much rust and crap is just packed in that. It's pretty nuts. But the radiator came out pretty good, so I think all in all, that's a plus. Also, the radiator, speaking of, the fill cap looked like it went into the frame, which had me scratching my head because I thought the frame would have been all rusted if it did that. It actually just went through the frame. You can see they kind of like welded a pipe in there, a little channel for that to go through, and it's set in those holders. And just came through there. That's where the Black Widow is. Can we see her? Looking right up her skirt, huh? Nope. She's up there, though. And anyways, so that came down into the rotting radiator hoses. That took forever. It probably took 30 seconds on the time lapse, but I think that was like 20 minutes of sawing through old rotten rubber. What else did we find? It's not actually as bad as I was thinking. I'm a little worried about breaking my back trying to get that motor out. Not excited about that. Luckily, each piece we take off, it gets lighter and smaller. So this concludes the first episode on the Suzuki GT750. And the next episode will probably be out in a few weeks, maybe a month. And I think we're going to probably be doing the frame, the center and kickstand, getting them all cleaned up. They might end up needing to be repainted because there's a lot of little rust spots peeking through. And sometimes you never know, that stuff can be polished out, but we'll just have to wait and see when we clean it. And we'll start with that. We got everything, all the parts off of the bike, stored away. I don't know why my camera just did that shaky thing. Anyways, took about, I'd say, a couple hours a day for about 3 days. A lot of that is just because I set up the camera and I take time and breaks and just, listen to music and have a good time. If you really had to get down and do this, you probably could have it all dismantled in 2 hours. Not that laborious of a job. The motor's pretty big, but if you got a strong back, you can get it out no problem. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks again for watching the show, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.